All right. Hey, good evening, Rattler Nation. Welcome to our new Monday night edition of the O&G Strike Zone, the O&G Monday Night Review Show, where it gives us an opportunity to recap Saturday's game. A little something different, so that way we don't have to spend the whole Wednesday show talking about something that happened 5 days ago. We can, and plus 48 hours after the game kind of gives us an opportunity to be less emotional. When you do a show 24 hours or sooner, you tend to be a little emotional.
Oh yeah.
I feel like
Joining
you're firing
the
some shots.
show is none other than none other than Keith Hadley, Things Up podcast, to help us get through this show. Keith, how you doing tonight, man? You feeling better about life and just everything FAMU football?
I'm much better, man. Look, it does help the vent. I'm hopeful to see some things. But I'm excited. It's FAMU, so you always got to be excited. But yeah, I'm ready.
Kelvin, I'll come to you in a second because you were right there with me watching it live. Marcus, how you doing 48 hours later?
Well, I'm all right. I sent y'all a little text message with my obligatory obscenity. Then I went to bed. Didn't sleep too well. Woke up. Was like, you know what? On to next week.
On to the next one. Kelvin, 48 hours later, after that long trip from South Florida back to Tallahassee, how we doing?
Doing well, man. You're right. It was a lot of traveling. I got up 6 o'clock. Well, I was up 4:30 Sunday morning. Got on the road and drove to Wild Adventure to meet my wife and four little 10-year-old girls for a trip at Wild Adventures. So it was a lot of traveling, and but it was a good time. And in terms of the game, I'm excited to talk about observations, and I have a big but. And what I would say is this: I'm not going to overreact yet, but, and I'm gonna leave it there.
Welcome into the show. We're gonna get this thing moving because we're on let me just tell everybody, since this is the first Monday night, this is the more condensed, more structured O&G show. I get a bad rap because people don't think I can keep to a time code. They think I just jump on the air and just run wild and do 3-hour shows.
Yep.
But I'm the one who came up with a format. So I will start by saying hello to everybody in the chat rooms. You could be watching us on Facebook or on YouTube. My JBN Online is where a lot of the chat is happening. Also, our O&G Strike Zone page on YouTube, Facebook as well. Hello to everybody watching us on Twitter. I didn't hit the Instagram live button, missed that up. And hey, to anybody watching us on the Things Up podcast feed on YouTube as well. All right. So we see the chats. Marcus, Kelvin, when you guys see stuff, kind of store them if you can or take note of it. I will try my best to do that. But since I'm kind of playing quarterback here, it'll be a little difficult. And I'm not just going to put the chat stream running on the show because I don't know what might just come out the mouth or off the fingers of people. So, I won't do that, at least on this show. We'll see. Maybe it's something that we do bring back a little bit later. But so the format of this, we're going to start the first segment and kind of get into talking about the first half of the game, and then in segment 2, we'll talk about the second half. In the third segment is where we will kind of give our takeaways. So that is segment 3, and then we'll close the show kind of giving our grades. In case you missed the memo, final score for the Orange Blossom Classic: Howard 10, FAMU 9. We'll process how we got there. This is now in the reimagined OBC. This is loss number 3 for FAMU in the Orange Blossom Classic. We are now 1-3 in this contest. We'll just kind of sit that on the shelf, and other little things that we'll mention that came out of that as well. So appreciate everybody jumping in. Let's get into the first half, guys. I'm going to kind of go drive chart. So as things come up in this opening drive that you recall, please jump in and make a note of it. Because I'm going to kind of go through the drive charts here as we go. I'll try and maybe go possession by possession and give you guys a chance to interject. And we'll do it that way. FAMU kicked off to Howard to start this ball game. And Howard started on their own 19-yard line, and the first of many 3-and-outs for the FAMU defense as we forced Howard in a 3-and-out, 3 plays, 4 yards in a quick 2 minutes. Howard will punt the ball to us, and we would start in a place that we would become very familiar with, inside the 40s, as we would start 1st and 10 on our own 40-yard line on our opening drive. We would pick up our first down of the game on 2nd and 9. RJ completed a pass to Jalen Rogers for 11. That was his first pass attempt of the season of the game. It was a 6-yard, caught at the 46 and advanced to the 48 and out of bounds in the Bison territory. 1st down and 10. It would be the only first down that we would get in this particular drive, as we'd have a run by Thad of 5 yards. RJ would have an incomplete pass.
Stop right there.
Don't get into the weeds too much.
Is this the 3rd and 5? No, on this 3rd and 5, where he scrambles to the right for a gain of 3 yards.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that one where he's looking and he misses the wide open receiver who's doing jumping jacks to the right side of the field?
Yeah, I think that was Thad on a wheel route or something like that.
It was.
So, he's a young quarterback. I'm not going to can't make excuses, but it was a miss.
Well, and he was rolling to that way. If he looking downfield, it was right there. And that was one of many times. That wasn't the only time. There were a lot of open receivers in the entire game. And let me just succinctly point out what Bryan is saying with the drive charts. So I'm going to just call out the starting field of every drive in the first half of FAMU. We were on our 40. We were on our 9. We were on our 34. We were on our 50. We were on our 46. We were on our 42. We had great field position the entire time. Now let's look at Howard starting field position for that game. They're 19, they're 20, they're 47, they're 3, they're 12, they're 16. Only one time did they start outside the 20 in the first half. So we had field positioning, and it was the same way the second half, frankly, probably even more lopsided. So we had great field position the entire time, which is why it was such a disappointing performance.
All right, so after that first offensive drive, 5 plays, 15 yards, 312. See, I see you guys caught the pre-show meeting. I appreciate you guys being there for that. We kicked the ball, punted the ball out to Howard, and this is where Howard would get their furthest and their first possession on offense. For me, this second possession by Howard is the one that started and made me a little nervous because Howard would go 8 plays. Now, they only went 20 yards on this in total, but this is where I think their quarterback started to show his abilities at this point, and I think we started realizing, okay, their quarterback, a grad transfer, Tyreek Starks, started to show a little mettle. Did you guys come away with any thoughts on that drive by Howard, which again, they started on their own 20, but it was an 8-play drive, though. It seemed like
they started finding their flow, but I didn't think their quarterback was that great. I mean, just being honest, like I thought he was pretty much like the guy that we saw from South Carolina State last year. Like, he couldn't really hit the broadside of a barn. He wasn't that accurate. He was a better runner than he is a thrower. Like, he's more of an athlete than he is a quarterback. And so I don't think I think our defense had to get used to being in front of a mobile quarterback like that. And once they figured out the flow and figured out that brother couldn't throw, like, I think they got really comfortable. But I think that first drive, once they scored, it's like, okay, we got a punch. But then you needed a counter punch. And I don't think their quarterback's special. I think he's probably the 4th or 5th best quarterback in a 6-team conference, which pretty much says at best he's mid.
Okay. I have a different thought on that, but okay. Go ahead.
The stats support that. They had 195 total yards for the game. And that's with 40 or 50 that coming on that last drive. Now, I'm going to add some context to our defense performance as well as the offense performance. But at the end of the day, what Keith is saying is exactly right. The numbers are the numbers. They had 195 total yards.
He threw for 145, less than 150 yards passing, on 28 attempts.
Yeah, I mean, his best drive would be at the end. Let me finish out the quarter here. After we kind of forced them 8 plays, 20 yards, FAMU would come with their second offensive possession. We would only go 7 plays, 27 yards. That second possession ended up with a punt by Bobby Ingsler, and got to give some props to Bobby. Bobby had a great day punting the ball.
He did.
I think his average was about
47.
46, 47.
Yeah.
6 punts, average 47. He had a great day, which led to, obviously, when we get to the point where we talk about special teams, I mean, damn it. I mean, special teams from the punting end was pretty good. His formation, while we're talking about Bobby, was anybody bothered or concerned, or like you're looking at that formation and you were kind of questioning, okay, how long is that going to last?
Hey, Bryan, you can go ahead and throw my name on it, because as soon as I saw that formation, let me tell you something. I love my coaches, and I know they're doing what they can and trying to win. But if we show that formation on the punt next week, or this upcoming game, we're going to get a block. When you have the snapper and like 1 or 2 linemen, and then everybody to the right side, I understand we was trying to angle punt, and I get what we're trying to do, but it's not fundamentally balanced, and it's not fundamentally sound. You know what I would do? I would walk 2 or 3 guys up to the line of scrimmage on that side where only the lone snapper is and 1 lineman. You have nobody to block them. You got 3 linemen in the backfield who I'm putting guys who got speed. They have no chance of blocking those pass rushers. And I'm going to block a punt. It's just not fundamentally sound. And then the other part is, if we do get the punt off and it's not a good punt and it's returnable, man, I'm setting up a return right opposite of that, and having those defenders to try to come and cover that side of the field. It's just, I don't like it. We got away with it. I don't like it. It's flawed. Somebody gonna take advantage of it.
All right. Well, that's going to be something that we'll be drawing. We'll draw eyes. We'll see, because obviously now when FAU, they'll have, obviously 6 possessions to kind of measure that against, and kind of go and see what that looks like. The quarter ends scoreless. Both teams kind of had the ball for about 7 minutes in the first quarter in terms of total first downs. FAMU ended up with 3 total first downs in the first. Howard with 2. Nothing really exciting. Nobody really did anything extra special in terms of moving the ball. So great, pretty much a defensive battle, if you want to surmise that, at the end of the first quarter. As we move into the second, okay, and this is where Howard's drive. Now, as Howard started with the ball, let's see. Howard started with the ball on the last play of the first quarter on their own 47-yard line. And this would be Howard's defining drive for them, in which they essentially, on this particular drive, would close it out with a touchdown, scoring on a 2-yard pass. Now, I think it's also important to kind of point out, this was also, as Howard moved the ball into the red zone, this is also an area where FAMU, TJ Huggins, I believe it was, TJ Huggins had got a nice hit on Starks. And I see our good friend telling us Starks wasn't a mobile quarterback. If he's not a mobile quarterback, then I don't know what mobile is, because he looked pretty mobile in this game. But anyway, in scrambling, he got his head taken off, in which they were about to bring out the former quarterback from last year, Scroggins. But I thought a pretty wise move by Howard's coach to call a timeout, get Starks back into the ball game, and then on third and goal from the 2, he throws a 2-yard pass to the young kid Neely. FAM's down 7-0 already. On that drive, major takeaways. What thoughts did you guys have watching that drive from our defense? Really, the only time our defense really got pushed down the field, I would think.
That hit changed the game to me. I think that hit changes the drive, because all of a sudden we oftentimes talk about something setting the tone that excited the players, and what was otherwise a pretty dead environment, that provided some excitement, and it really put a fire under the defense. And honestly, I felt like from that point on, the defense played with a little bit of what for, and they had a little bit of like middle finger to you, and they realized by the end of the game, if we don't win, nobody's going to win. And honestly, this is definitely projecting, but you could tell they realize that if we don't score, we're not going to win this game. And that's why that interception later on in the game is going to be needed.
Kelvin, Marcus, anything? No?
No, not from this drive. I mean, I was up until then. I mean, the defense played well the whole entire game. So there were a couple plays I thought we could have got off the field, but, it just didn't happen.
Well, Bryan, just let me add a general statement about defense. The stats were dominant, and that's great. When I started out the show saying I have butts, here's one of my butts. Howard was worried about our speed. They were very vanilla offensively. Their goal was to try to sustain drives, not score necessarily, but to sustain drives, keep our offense off the field, stay close, and steal it at the end, which is what they did. But they really didn't challenge our defense, and they didn't even try to challenge our defense. They first second down most of the time was hands off to the running back on a zone read, and it was stuff because our defensive line won most of those battles, frankly. So it was an impressive defensive performance, but I don't know what they weren't challenged enough to know, was it the defense or was it Howard's offense? That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Following that, Howard scored. The next two FAMU offensive possessions, 3 plays, 2 yards, mixed in with after a Bobby Inksler 61-yard punt. Howard ended up going 3 and out, so pretty much stalled. Howard would go another. So we essentially had 4 consecutive plays, 4 consecutive drives that would go 3 and out. Mm-hmm. Coming here, FAMU finally got a drive going as we started in the second quarter, 4:38 to play on our own 46-yard line. Would get to the 20-yard line, right to the edge of the red zone. And if I'm not mistaken, this was
Bryan,
one of the few times.
Let's go back a little bit, because the previous drive, we started at our 50. And you started at the 50. You're only down a touchdown. You're only halfway through the second quarter. This is where we should have. I mean, this is where you respond. And we did. We gained 2 yards.
Yeah.
Didn't even threaten. Gained 2 yards starting at your own 50.
Right.
Jackson State last year, second half. That's what this offense looked like. We did, because we got those 3 turnovers in the third quarter against Jackson State last year in the vet. Didn't do anything with that field position. And so this is a different coordinator, same head coach. I'm starting to wonder, is it the coordinators, or are they being influenced and trying to satisfy the head coach? We got to open this offense up, and we got to find out if our signal caller can make the plays, and if he can't, we got to give the next guy the opportunity to make the plays. Period.
Well, the one attack on the end zone in this series where we finally scored on a 37-yard field goal to cut the deficit to 7-3. I think this was the only time that we attacked the end zone with a pass, and I believe it was a pass on the front end of the pylon. Wasn't even in the end zone, and that was a little worrisome and troublesome from my vantage point at this point in the game. And we're 7 plays, 34 yards, 2 minutes and 36 seconds. We get the field goal.
It was a poorly placed pass too, Bryan. Like, that's the other part. Like,
oh yeah.
That the location of that pass was terrible. So I mean, we're gonna knock. You don't want to knock the kid, but at this point, he ain't ready.
And let me just add to that real quick, Bryan. To that point, so the production is the production, right? At the end of the day, there was a lot of reasons for the offense not looking better. It's not on any particular player. But at the end of the day, you didn't close the door. There should be open competition. And this is the perfect game coming up to let the next guy come in and see. It's FBS point. I'm just saying.
I want to bring your attention to our final possession of the first half, because as we're starting to see the flow of the game, the frustration that we're seeing in the offense is growing. It's mounting, right? It's a 7-3 ball game. We're watching the field position. We backed Howard up inside the 20 at this point, right? Howard's last offensive possession, they essentially after another great job by the special teams, they start on their 16. They only get to the 25, 6 plays, 9 yards, and out. Okay, that was a theme. Again, in total, FAMU's defense, 7 possessions, they held Howard to less than 10 yards in a drive. 7 of them. 6 of them were 3 and outs. Okay, so this 9-yard one.
Bryan, can I add one more thing to that? I just want to drive this home. The drive times, 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
I'll show the graphics. Let me
1 minute and 31 seconds.
I got the drive.
I mean,
the graphics.
They were 3 and out in quick drives.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That first half, Howard dominated time possession. And the crazy part, we end the game with 10 minutes more time possession. And you watch that first half, you're like, how the heck? Like, that's crazy.
Let me call your attention to what I thought was another troublesome moment. End of the first half. We start with 1 minute and 4 seconds on our own 42. Again, another drive inside the 40s, right? We pick up a first down, get to the Bison 48. Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10. We end up taking a loss on the next play. Now it's 3rd and 14, right? We end up picking up a penalty, thanks courtesy to courtesy of Howard, makes it a 3rd and 9. Now we got 3rd and 9 on the Bison 47. We pick up a first down to Goldie Lawrence. So we pick up a 1st and 10, 35. Here's the thing. That was with 28 seconds. Clock. Tick, 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 tick. No timeouts. Again.
Why don't we have any timeouts, Bryan?
Well, look.
That's the question of the whole game, ain't it?
What were we using the timeouts for, Bryan?
The whole game,
I don't
right?
know. Look, again, we pick up the first down with about 25 seconds left and ends up 1st and 10. The clock ends up running out on us at the end of the first half. I cannot understand what happened there at the end of that first half. And that was an opportunity where maybe we could have rolled out. I mean, it was 1st and 10 on the 35-yard line. At most, that's what, a 52-yarder? Maybe we get another 5 yards, something. The clock management at the end of the half was atrocious. It just kind of over. It just was the theme of the first half.
The whole game,
of
Bryan,
the first half.
You being nice. The whole game, that clock management was trash.
I'm still on the first half.
It was.
I know, but I can't.
It was. Hey, Bryan, we ain't got a slow walk this one.
No.
It wasn't that much action from either team offense, so we can.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't much. No, not much at all. All right, so we go into the halftime.
Make it slow, right?
Yeah, going into halftime, trailing 7-3. At this point, what are you guys hoping to see at that point in the game? Down 7-3. What are you hoping to see?
Some life in the offense.
Thing. Dun, 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 dun. You make my heart sing. Go to the bullpen.
Going to the bullpen.
Go to the bullpen. I'm ready.
I was waiting for a jet.
Yeah, that was
that left arm, tap it a few times to point to the bullpen. Bring in the next pitcher.
It's something to note that in the post game, Coach Cozy mentioned that there was, because I think somebody did ask the question about whether he considered it, and I guess he and Coach Burris, I got the impression that maybe Coach Burris may have wanted to go, to the backup, and I think Cozy wanted to stay. If I'm reading or listening to the quote from the press conference correctly, that's how that went down. Cozy wanted to stay.
Hey,
I'm gonna
be at every game, cheering those Rattlers on. I love my FAMU Rattlers. However, 13 games into the Cozy era, 7-6. Losses to Valley, Howard, Prairie View, those aren't blue bloods. That is not the standard. You better start worrying about people. You better start worrying about your player's job and win some games.
Okay.
That's where it at.
That's not the darn standard. And honestly, though, the other part, one of the most damning parts in the post game was he admitted that Jet could make some of those throws, but he rode with RJ. Go back and rewatch that. If y'all haven't already seen it, it's here on the ONG StrikeZone YouTube page. You can put that in the other tab if you got 3 screens like me. But go watch it. He says, "Oh, the other quarterback probably would have hit some of them passes." So you're admitting that you knew that kid couldn't hit them passes, but you kept rolling his behind out there. Doc, that's a dereliction of duty.
Yeah, this was the opportunity, the way this first half went, to give Petty a drive or two because we get the ball to start the second half. And what we needed was a jump start. The defense is playing well. Special teams is playing well. We needed a jump start. We did not need to start the second half going 3 plays, 9 yards.
We got
That's how we started the first possession of the second half. Yeah.
Didn't even finish the half with a field goal.
Yeah. And what was even worse, I'm going to say it was the play calling. Thad Franklin, rush left. Thad Franklin, rush left. 3rd and 1. Thad Franklin, rush middle, punt. Now, if that is taking the ball away from your quarterback and saying, well, let's feature the running game in this first, and we don't get a first, what are we doing?
Hey, so I'm going to say something to that point, Bryan, that another coach who coached at FAMU, who didn't last, said to me at one time, he said, the other teams got players too. So if you think you can just come up there, be vanilla, and call something and expect it to be successful, then you're sadly mistaken. I agree that the play calling was conservative on our part also, and didn't help the quarterback situation because we were giving away first down almost every time because we weren't getting anything with that zone read, just running it up into the line. And we had, going into the second quarter, now third quarter, Howard has changed how they going to defend us, period. They walking everybody up because they ain't worried about us trying to throw the ball. Not that we can't, but they still scared of our speed. They understand if we get guys in open spaces, it's over. But they realize now that we ain't finna test them either. And we played their game.
Exactly. Because they had 7, 8 in the box. I love when everybody, the run game's jacked up. I hear you. I agree with you. But you running the 7, 8 in the box. That sounds like people who ain't never played football. I'm sorry. It sounds really cool to say you're going to run through a mother lover's chest. It's another thing to actually do it. And when that person weighs as much, if not more than you, and you ask me to run through their chest, I can only do that so many times until it's to the point where, like, hey, man, there's 8 of them. You got 5 legal offensive linemen. You have an H-back that is there. You also might have a tight end. It's still 7 on 6, and there's only so much you can do. So a lot of that was on the fact that you have no downfield passing game that is worth a darn in this game. And they brought the defense up. And they said, beat us deep, and you never did it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The contrast after that opening Thad Franklin 3 and out in a cloud of dust, after our defense holds Howard to three plays, 2 yards in 57 seconds, we get the ball back. We go the complete 180 with the play calling on the next 3 plays. After RJ takes a sack on 1st and 10 on the FAMU 46, followed up by a 15-yard penalty, we go scramble, pass, incomplete, 3 plays, 2 total yards, all passes or pass attempts, which yielded 1 sack, 1 scramble by 4 yards, 1 incomplete pass. And once again, we've punted the ball. And at that point, first 2 possessions, Kelvin and I looked at each other and were like, okay, now we got to make the change. We tried the first drive with Thad, a drive with RJ, still nothing happened. Warm up the jet, get a kid, something. Anything's got to go. I mean, this is almost the same spot where what happened, the whole, I think, Keith, you mentioned this, where we had the cameo from Mertoli. Yeah, this almost a similar appearance happened in this very spot that year where it was a 7-6 game against Jackson. Just something to shake things up. Didn't happen.
Well, and to that point, because we're focusing on offense because that's where the focus need to be. There was opportunities. I see a lot of the comments kind of centering around Howard did rotate 4 or 5 linemen, but receivers were open left and right, and he wasn't under. If you look at his stat, he wasn't under much duress. He was just not ready. He looked like a quarterback who hadn't played meaningful college football, hadn't started a game since high school in two years, and that's the way he's going to look the next game too, and the game after that. Because he has to get game experience, he has to grow into it. I don't think this team and this schedule allows that, though. We need wins. The one thing you know about Jet, he had a 64% accuracy rate last year, and he has playing experience at the collegiate level in JUCO. I think that matters. So it's about when we've got the defense and special teams. If you look at everything else, and you look at, frankly, the rest of the SWAC games and HBCU football in general, there's a lot of balance and parity. Nobody's going to run away from anybody. So, in a grand scheme of things, this is why I say I'm not personally too bothered, but, and I'm gonna hit that butt when we start talking about the second half and then what happened at the end of the game.
Yeah. After that,
and to your point, all of your points. I mean, just overall in the game, I was tracking it last year for FAMU and our opponents. We only had, according to Pro Football Focus, a play, I guess an explosive play, 20 yards or more. There was only 3 on each side. Howard had 2 on special teams and I believe 1 pass. We had 2 passes and 1 on special teams. So nothing was explosive. And I think last year we averaged about 5 or 6. Now we did have a high of 10 explosive plays both against Valley and Bethune-Cookman, but even still, we were getting at least 3 or 4 per game and averaged about 1 explosive play touchdown of 20 yards or greater. And none of that happened this time.
The FAMU defense would get their first interception of the game. Howard on their third possession, where they started with 9:32 to play, would end up 39 on the 43-yard line. Tariq Stark's pass would be intercepted by Brandon Callaway at the FAMU 43-yard line. So now here we are, starting again inside the 40. Again, keynote offense, a lot of possessions inside the 40. No change at quarterback at this point. RJ Johnson comes back out for this drive. This was actually a rather productive drive for FAMU. It would end up going 10 plays. We got to the Bison 19. So again, the second time we're in the red zone. Unfortunately, though, we weren't able to push further ahead and pick up a first down. So we send Daniel Porto out to kick a 36-yard field goal. It gets blocked. The one special teams error that would, in hindsight, turn out to be a big error would be a blocked field goal. At that point, Howard would start again, 2:31 in the third quarter, ball on the 19-yard line. But guess what, fellas? Defense did what the defense does, right? 3 and out. And we get the ball back right towards the end of the third quarter. Ball on the Bison 45-yard line. 1st and 10 on the Bison 45-yard line. What's your mind telling you as we get ready to go into the start of the fourth quarter here?
Find a jet and find a way to score. I mean, Howard has shown that their offense sucks. Like, you're literally a quarterback away. You have no explosive plays, as Marcus has pointed out. You're not pushing the field. You're not throwing the ball deep downfield. And our receivers have shown the ability to get open. And these African Americans are doing jumping jacks on the field, and the quarterback's still not hitting them. Or if he does, it's slightly behind. Or this Creflo's throwing in double coverage. Dadgummit, I need a new quarterback, because at this point, I love the fact you're riding with him, but loyalty will get you hurt.
No, you don't. You don't. don't love that he's riding with him. Stop it. Stop lying. You don't love
I love the principle that he's loyal, but the full effect. Look, It's time, and I'm waiting on him to do something amazing, and it just never happened.
So there's potential, and there's talent. Potential gets you beat because it's always potential. Talent does things that wins for you, right? Even when it's unscripted. And I would tell you, nobody fears a Florida team. Look at what happened across the state in terms of our teams, especially at the FBS level. All of them look like Florida teams now. Speed everywhere. Guys making explosive plays. All that run first foolishness. You got playmakers and you got skilled people. I don't understand why you bunch everybody up, the receivers, and even if you're going to try to run the ball, spread them out. Create running lanes. You know, them trips need to be damn near to the sidelines. And try to help out the run game that way. But I mean, in Florida, explosive plays with skilled people and speed. That's what Florida. It was a reason why Howard would not punt to us or kick off to us.
They knew what was up.
They understood the speed and the danger, and we self-checked ourselves.
And you're running crossing routes that are late, this is for me. Anybody who's mad at Burris about a play call is cool, but I think at a certain point, Burris realized this quarterback's limited. Hell, he can't get the ball to the guy because he's calling some plays where you're really trying to take advantage of the Florida-ness of this offense. You're running routes where these guys are stacked, they're crossing, a receiver flashes across the middle, and the ball has to be on time. And if the ball is on time, you hit the receiver on speed and in stride, and all of a sudden the Florida-ness of this offense kicks in because all of us are fast. Everybody down here is fast. Unless you're fat, you're fast for the most part. So, like, you're trying to take advantage and get the ball to your skill position and your receivers in space. But when the quarterback can't get the ball to where it needs to be, that nullifies 80% of their offense. So, yeah, he got to check down every time because that's all he can see.
All right. I
texted during the game that this reminded me of the 2021 OBC, where we have a first-time starter in Rashawn McKay, and we're facing a decent defense that's to determine our stuff in the run, and a quarterback who wasn't seeing the whole field, or missed big passes that potentially could have broken the game open. So it pretty much played out like it did 4 years ago.
All right. Sorry, I had to step away for a quick second. All right. Are we into the start of this fourth quarter? Marcus, I don't know. Did you happen to start it?
Go ahead.
Okay. So coming out of the end of the third quarter into the start of the fourth, this was actually a very productive drive for us where we got all the way down to the Bison 16-yard line. But again, unable to push the ball into the end zone with passes. And one of the biggest problems I had throughout the course of every time we got toward the red zone, we never had a pass. We never attacked the end zone. We never attacked with the pass into the end zone. We didn't throw the ball out the back of the end zone. Never saw a receiver cut through the end zone to the back of the end zone, throw a hand or a flag up. Nothing. Nothing happened where we attacked the end zone. I thought that was a problem. Troublesome. We end up with a 33-yard field goal. The lead is cut. The deficit is cut to 7-6 now with 7:40 on the clock in the fourth quarter. FAMU defense goes 3 and out, holding Howard to 3 and out again. Doing a great job. We get the ball back with 6:02 on our own 38-yard line and then proceed to go on an 11-play drive. But I'll say this drive pushed us all the way to the one. And this was the one time where we actually saw RJ and even Colsey made note of this. This was the one time that he really attacked with a deep shot at Jalen Rogers and hit Jalen Rogers with a 26-yard play to the Bison 10-yard line. A couple of running plays would push us to the 2 about the 1.5 mark, but we stalled out, knowing that we only needed a field goal. Maybe we were a little conservative. Again, no pass attempts in the end zone here. 11 plays, 61 yards. We finally take our first lead of the game with 1:49 to play. Again, the first lead of the game was with 1:49 to play. Again, 11-play drive. Previous was a 10-play drive.
Trash. You left at least 20 points on the board. I mean, probably. I think really 30, but probably. Trash. Like schematically.
The pass, he missed that twice, and then Thad bobbled one. But again, to what Keith said earlier, those passes weren't where they needed to be, where it was an easy catch.
Yeah.
And in terms of our strike zone offense, we had no strategy. I couldn't tell. We didn't have any strategy. You notice when the one time Howard got into the red zone, you know, they ran that little flag.
It was a nice creative play call which yielded a wide open receiver to get a touchdown.
Right. And they set that up. It was just disappointing that, you know, we had excellent field position the entire game. We had 4 times we were inside the red zone, and we had 3 field goals and one that was blocked, in which really on that particular kick, the kicker just didn't get it up in there fast enough or high enough. It was a low trajectory kick. But man, and I want to drive this home. If you told me at the end of this game that FAMU held Howard under 200 yards, 195 total yards, that to our 272 yards of offense, they had like a 3.3 yard average per play.
Think about what Howard had at this point in the game, Kelvin.
We dominate the punting. All right. We had 46.7 was the punting average. Kickoffs. We had great kickoff stats. I'm looking at penalties. We had very few penalties. Possession. We won the time of possession, 33-36 to 26-24. I mean, just down the line, you look and we dominated this game and lost 10-9. Our defense hold this team to 10 points, and we lost.
Yeah.
We wasted the special teams play and the defensive play against a very limited Howard team. It's very disappointing and concerning, frankly.
Yeah. Going into this final drive where Howard would start with 1:49 on their own 25-yard line, Howard at this point only had, if I'm doing the math right, 130. Let me see. 95 minus 50 is what? Somebody do the math.
145.
146 actually. They had 146 yards of total offense at this point as they start 1st and 10 on their own 25. After incomplete pass on 1st and 10, we get a sack on 2nd and 10. We force them into a 3rd and 19, okay? 3rd and 19 on their own 16-yard line. And this is one of the plays that you just kind of shook your head and was like, damn, here we go. 3rd and 19, Starks passes over the middle to Katie Mosley for 21 yards, picking up a 1st down. Then he comes right back on a 1st and 10 on the Bison 37. Hits Eden James, a guy we had kind of forgot about, 14 yards. Another 1st and 10. Up the middle, 11 yards. So now we hit 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive 1st downs before we get to.
And you're blitzing every play.
The easiest pass. Hold on. Where you going? So this is another reason why, you know, while the defense played a dominant game, why I don't know how good. I know they played really good, against this particular offense. But I don't know how good, because when this was the one time Howard had to challenge us, and they were able to, and to go down and get in position and kick the winning field goal. And to your point, the easiest passes to make are across the middle.
Yeah.
How do you let Edgerrin James catch 2 passes 5 yards from the line of scrimmage and be able to go 10 yards? If you just tackle them, it's a minute and something left, and they don't have any timeouts. So if you just stop them from getting first downs on these plays, the clock is ticking. But because they were getting first downs, the clock was stopped. The move and set the change. Also, we had a player to get hurt after one of the plays that stopped the clock. But again, game management, time management, and then giving them the easiest pass. A quarterback, who can throw. You gave him the easy pass, and then you didn't have a spot to keep point. The one time he did take off and run, there was nobody there. So they got junk plays. They went a minute. They went 45, 50 yards in less than in about a minute.
Yeah, 40. It ended up being actually 49 yards, all the way out down to the 26-yard line is where, with the clock stopped, they were able to spike the ball, and with maybe 2 or 3 seconds left on the clock, 43-yard field goal by Matt Kennard. Ball game right down the middle to hit the All-State logo and everything. Probably could have hit it from 50, really, given the way he put a foot in.
Yeah, it was solid. It was solid.
It was solid. It was fair kick, man. You can't take that away from that.
That quarter. Yeah, that quarter, Howard only had the ball for 3 minutes and 33 seconds in that quarter. Yep. Final score 10-9. Takeaways. What if let's go around the horn here. What are the big overall takeaways? Start with you, Marcus. Overall takeaways from this game. Three takeaways.
I don't know. 3 might be a lot. First thing, the defense.
Doesn't have to be 3. Just
the defense. To Kelvin's point, regardless of whether Howard's playing vanilla or not, the defense statistically did a good job. And just watching it on TV, looked like they were doing a good job. So I'll give props to the defense and special teams. Second thing, offense needs to open it up. I'm not sure. I know there's a commitment to the run, and I guess the expectation was not to get 89 yards off of 32 rushes. So that's disappointing. But you're going to have to open the offense up, or else everyone's going to try to stack the box and dare your quarterback to prove his mettle. Third thing is, this isn't really a good showcase game coming up. And the first home game is going to be warm because there are going to be some expectations. There are already expectations that were unmet this game. But when we play Albany, that's gonna either be getting us on the right track or the heat's going to get turned up.
Keith, what are your takeaways?
We need an adult in the room. And I'm saying that largely because somebody has to be the person to say when enough is enough. And we didn't have that on Saturday. You have a defense who dominates the game and literally until the last drive. And a lot of that last drive, you're giving up dink and dunk passes because you're overly aggressive. But we need an adult in the room to say, some of this ain't going to work and we have to make some changes, because what's not going to be cool is sitting up there talking about the standard ain't the standard post game, sitting there with jaws tight, and then explaining to FAMU folks that we're going to make it better when you're going into the second, third game. And let's be honest, Alabama State looks like the best team in the SWAC. Jackson State was not impressive against Hampton. I don't know if it was just me. They weren't that impressive. Like, Alabama State looks like they could come down to Bragg and apply B2A. And you need an offense that can score. You have a defense that can stop. But guess what? This ain't the Baltimore Ravens, and that ain't Trent Dilfer. Because Trent Dilfer, at least, in all of his limitedness, was getting the ball to where it needed to go. This is not it. And if this is the hill you're going to die on, unfortunately, this is going to be the last hill you coach on. Because FAMU folks are fickle. And let's be straight up and call it what it is. You got Marvin Johnson as the president. She ain't loyal to you. And this is your biggest money maker. She is here to make money. That's what they brought her here for. And if you lose in dollars, it don't make sense for you to be here. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm trying to be honest and real about this. We know when these people come over, they are running this like a business. And this is bad for business. When you look over and homecoming going to be the only game that's sold out and Florida Classic, you bet not. So I'm just saying this. Change needs to happen by the Albany State game. FAU game, I have no expectations. I expect you to roll RJ out there, let him struggle, and honestly, let him struggle because that's a higher level opponent. But I don't have high expectations right now based on what I've seen.
Kelvin?
So here's my butt, everybody. It's the first game, and the quarterback that rolled out there, you know, he wasn't the reason why we lost by himself. He looked what I thought he would look like, to be frank. So this game doesn't concern me, but to what Keith just said, if we don't change anything, and we was like, well, we just gonna get better, and when we try to execute the same thing, then I'm on a different page. Then, if we make the necessary adjustments that we know need to be made, and open up that offense, we know we got special teams, we know we got defense, and I think people are going to be really shocked and surprised if we get an opportunity to see that how talented this team is. But to be honest, I talked about what the record is, 7-6, and the teams we done lost to, and slow starts. I said it on the BCSN pregame show Saturday that I was interested to see what kind of start we need to get in front of Howard and put pressure on early. And we got off to a slow start again, fell behind, and never had the lead until last 2 minutes of the quarter. I mean, of the game. So I need to feel confident that my head coach sees this and got more than just lip service, right? That, hey, we're going to make the changes we need to make right now, which he kind of did at the end of last year, but we still kind of offensively looking the same. Open up the daggum offense, get your playmakers the ball in open space. I don't hear nothing about this run first and all the do whatever the game plan of the defense. I need to be able to see that you can make adjustments in game to take advantage of whatever the defense is giving you so that we can be successful and win ball games, and especially beat teams we should beat, especially beat teams where we hold them under 200 yards in the state of Florida, in Miami. That's gotta be a win. I don't hear we could put our defense back out there again. We didn't win. So something needs to change. But I believe in the talent. I believe in the coaching still right now. But
I'll say that.
One other thing I wanted to add, and I know we talked about it pregame, was that we didn't put, whether it's a play calling or whether it's execution, we did not put RJ in a good position. Because looking at third downs, we had 15 or 16, and about 12 of them were 5 yards or more. And for a quarterback making his first collegiate start and his first game at FAMU, you cannot, either the play caller or execution-wise, whatever the case may be, you can't put 12 out of your 15 third down plays at 5 yards or more. You're not going to – and actually looking at the stat sheet, it looks like our most successful quarter in terms of third down conversion was the fourth quarter, but that's inexcusable for putting someone in that kind of position, first game of the season, first start of his collegiate career.
You got to have the explosive plays. If you watch the FBS, if you watch the Miami, the FSU,
He's got to make the throws.
You got to have the explosive plays. That's Florida football.
Or you have to change the offense to fit his skill set. Like, let's be honest, schematically, he can't run this offense.
Well, I don't know about that, Keith, because he missed throws. See, I mean, here's the thing that I'm going to say. Biggest takeaway is I'm disappointed in the fact that we didn't challenge in the red zone. We didn't challenge the end zone. I kind of talked about that, but at the same time, and I am disappointed that Colsey or Burris, or whether it was all Colsey or not, that he didn't take the chance on just trying out the next quarterback, even for a possession or two, right? But RJ missed some throws. And the one thing that I saw a common theme over the weekend in college football, experience versus inexperience, right? And so the inexperience of RJ Johnson showed in the few, Marcus, you talked about explosive plays. There would have been explosive plays had he made the connection, had he seen the guy who was open when he missed him out of the pocket, then when he scrambled forward, he missed him a second time. That would have been an explosive play. He missed the tight end over the middle 2 times. Those would have been explosive plays. So it's not like the explosive plays wouldn't have occurred. He has to make a better throw, right? He was only sacked 3 times. So the offensive line, there was some pressure that the offensive line gave up. So I kind of struggle when people ask me. I don't know if it was all offensive line. Was it RJ? Was it Howard's defense? Honestly, it was probably about 35, 33, 34 in terms of who was at fault. Maybe give a little credit to Howard, maybe give some blame to our offensive line, maybe give some blame to RJ. Probably all 3 occurred. But there is something, and I'm going to say this, and then we'll go to the last grades. For Coach Colsey to go to RJ Johnson for that entire game, right? A young man who has not played a snap yet, okay, in college, when behind him is a kid who threw for 2,700 yards and another kid who threw in 1 game at Central Michigan. There is something, I don't know what it is because I'm not at practice every day. I'm not in the huddle. There is something there that I think I'm going to. I can't tell Rattler Nation what to do. I can implore you. I can encourage you. But there's something there that he sees that we don't see. And for maybe one more game, we've got to suck it up and see how the performance looks against FAU. And I know that's hard because, I mean, who knows? It's an FBS opponent, and what that will look like, we don't have much. But there's something that he sees in RJ in compared to the other guys, right? But I do think in these next 2 ball games is the opportunity to let Jet and maybe even Jefferson get some meaningful snaps so that by the time we start the Alabama State series, we actually have a quarterback. Remember the one thing that I told you guys, I applauded what Billy Joe used to do. First 3 games of the season, what did he do? He had 3 different quarterbacks. The year we had Pat Bonner and won a national title with Pat, right? Pat started the 3rd game and then carried on the rest of the season. Because he was like, well, we got 3 guys who were kind of all neck and neck, right? It sounded crazy back then, turned out to work. Every time Joe did it, it worked. So I'm gonna give Colsey the benefit of the doubt, and just from the mere fact that I'm not there. I'm not there. I don't see it. I don't trust. I don't know what I don't know. Let me just say it like that, right? But I do think people have to ask the questions. The media on tomorrow's press conference, the local media, Gerald, Allison, the Tallahassee media, whoever's on that call, we have to find out from Coach. There was no press conference today to ask and find out, but somebody has to ask, Coach, what is it that you see in RJ that you felt he deserved playing that entire game in comparison to Jet or your other guys? And you told us, he came on our show and even told everybody that the other guys won't get time. So what did those guys not do, right? I mean, those are legitimate questions that have to be asked. And I think that's what Coach Colsey has to answer. All right.
Hey, it kind of makes you wonder, right? The announcement for the quarterback 1 was supposed to happen.
Look a minute.
Was supposed to happen on a Wednesday. before the week of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't happen.
Nope.
And it didn't really happen till the week of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coach said he was going to put that out there early. He was going to make a decision earlier. He said nobody made him say that.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of makes you wonder what happened really that made that decision later on. And if it's that close, if it's really that close, then why not give both guys an opportunity in a real
one
game?
of the instances, coach mentioned that one of the QBs was banged up or something like that. I heard that somewhere, either 220 or somewhere else. So I don't know what it is or what it isn't, but he mentioned that. So I don't know how much that rolls into consideration. Now, the other thing is, I don't know, we're all up in arms because we expected to beat Howard. You know, I'm talking about we general as Rattler Nation. But we got to give Howard some credit. We missed opportunities, but they made it hard. They weren't giving up any. I don't know if we expected to just run Thad out there and he was just going to be stepping on people stepping like
that's what they thought.
Like the Jolly Green Giant stepping over.
Who's all that?
Not a rational fan. I mean,
yeah.
No,
like, I think you're right. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, Howard's defense historically has been solid.
Yeah, the defense played well. No one's taking anything away from their defense. And I saw in the comment, nobody's taking anything away from the defense. What we are, and you'll notice, none of us have said Howard's defense wasn't good. Howard's not going to win the MEAC. So I'm not going. Y'all know Keith, realest guy in the room. I'm always going to tell you the truth.
And we did drop 3 touchdowns. I mean, missed 3 touchdowns. I mean, guys were open.
So nobody's saying the defense is bad.
And there was
two things to be true.
Saying the field position battle, we won it for the most of the day.
Exactly.
Take advantage of it. So, and from that sense, Howard, between a combination of Howard's defense and whatever selection on play call or lack of execution contributed to that. Yeah. But if you're starting the ball, I was just looking at the drive chart, and I know Bryan had it up. We only had one drive that started outside the 40. In the whole, like the first half or the whole game or something like that. I mean,
come on,
that's a rarity where you don't have to drive the whole field to try to get some points.
Come on,
honestly, they changed their scheme to fit what we weren't doing well. So again, no one's taking anything away from the defense, but we will tell you the truth that they're not going to win the MEAC. Like, they're not going to beat South Carolina State. They're not going to beat North Carolina Central. And that's not being a hater. That's being real.
No. If that's if they're gonna be that vanilla on defense and now it's tape out there, on offense, just same with us. Hell, if that's what we're gonna produce in terms of offense,
not gonna do well. So
we're not gonna have a very good season.
No, it's a 6-win season at best. If that's the crap you're rolling out, like, the truth don't care who tell it.
But also, I knew last year, even when we played in the MEAC SWAC Challenge, I guess the question was asked of coach, and he didn't want to put anything on film ahead of conference play. So, you take that for what it's worth. If it's true, if they don't really want to put a whole bunch of things that for the whole rest of the 11 game seasons that we have, 11 games we have left, putting something that's scoutable for something that we really want our opponents to see before we get into conference play, then that could have contributed to the vanilla calls. We just didn't make enough plays, execute well enough, and on offense, and maybe on the last drive on defense in order to pull out the win.
Hey, man, takeaways, Bryan, because that's where we at. But, hey, my takeaway is 195 yards of total offense. For Howard. We controlled the time of possession, 33 minutes and 36 to 26, 24. Held them to 6 of 16 on third down conversions. We only had 6 penalties, and you hold the team to 10 points. That's my takeaway. We dominated everywhere but on the scoreboard.
All right. Let's go around the horn with our grades. Let's start with the offensive side first. What are we giving grades? Offense, Kelvin, your grade for the offense. We're going to offense first. Offensive grades, go.
Offensive grades.
Letter grades, yep.
And this a curve, D-.
Wow. Marcus.
You're right, that's so a curve.
D.
Keith.
F-.
All right. I guess I'll be the only one go with a C+. All right. Defense.
You give me grades. I want to take your class. I want to take your
really,
class.
I need your class. That's a nice little curve.
Got to balance it out a little bit. All right. Defense. What's your grade, Marcus D? Defense.
A.
Keith?
Stick with A.
Yeah. I'd give it A2. A2. Go ahead, Kelvin.
A- because they didn't stop him on that last drive.
Hard grader. All right, here we go. Special teams. Keith, you lead it off. Special teams.
B because of the block field goal.
Yeah, I was gonna say B+ too. I thought punting, everything else was solid. B+, the block punt. That could have been the game winner. Kelvin.
B+. Block punt.
Marcus.
C. B+. Same.
Okay, solid.
That block kick.
All right, last one. Okay. Last one starts with coaching. I guess I start the last one with coaching. I gotta go. Yes, I'm gonna go. Yes, I gotta go C. I gotta go C. I can't go any better. Go ahead, Kelvin. Let's see if you're gonna be harder than that.
Oh yeah. And this is a curve. D+. A D+. And dog, because the clock management, the game plan, not making adjustments at all from an offensive standpoint, all that is on the coaching. D+.
Marcus.
C, because I'll balance that out with how well the defense and special teams play. But to echo Kelvin's point, especially coming out in the second half, and we had the ball and actually ending the first half on a drive and just had poor clock management, and we could have gone into half of momentum and gotten the ball back. And once again, the positive field position could have yielded a different result, and it didn't.
And Keith on the coaching. This will be interesting.
D-. I was borderline F. The only saving grace was the defense and the special teams, but the lack of adjustments made. And then even with the defense at the end of the game, no adjustment made. Like we all see it. And Jay Walker even says, like, why are you blitzing here? And just the lack of awareness to switch out the quarterback. You see the players. Look at the players' body language when you rewatch it. The players are doing that quintessential coach. This ain't working, but I'm gonna follow you because you the coach vibe. Like D-.
All right. That's kind of how we've broken down this game. Send us an email, ongstrikezone@gmail.com. Let us know what you think of this format, the style. This is the first time that we've done this, so we're open to any and all suggestions. ongstrikezone@gmail.com. We're trying to do a much shorter version of a post-game recap. So that way, when we do our normal show on Wednesday, obviously we'll know more because we'll hear from Coach Colsey. We'll also talk about what's going on with our other sports, and then we can also start to begin talk about what's ahead for FAU. So that's the purpose of doing this, to open up more time on Wednesday's show. So again, we'd love to hear your thoughts and comments about how you like this and the format, what we can change, what we can do better, what we can do less of. ongstrikezone@gmail.com. We welcome any and all feedback. All right. That's going to do it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and the like button, Rattler Nation. We appreciate your time, your thoughts, especially you guys in the chat rooms. Did a great job of commenting, some good conversation in the chats. Appreciate everyone for jumping in. Hello to everybody. Make sure you're following Things Up Podcast is where you can find Keith. And Keith, his next show will be on Thursday. And then Keith's shows are everywhere on Thursday and Sunday nights. You can find us, of course. Check us out on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, ONG Strike Zone. What's our guest lineup look like for Wednesday, Kelvin? Who we got?
Well, we still closing the loop on that.
We're still closing the deal. Okay.
I'll hold off.
Okay,
but
all right.
I will say that I won't be present because I have I'm getting 2 wisdom teeth extracted on Wednesday.
Ooh.
So I will not be on the show. So hopefully Keith can hold it down.
Keith, we might have to pull you out the bullpen here on Wednesday again, Keith. We might need to do another relief appearance on Wednesday.
We got to already talk to the wife about it. We trying to make sure we get that last clearance from the wife.
I got you. Let me know how that goes. Right?
Understood.
We understand. All right, fellas. Hey, appreciate your time tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and checking the show out. Follow all the shows on the BCSN Pod Zone everywhere you listen to podcasts. Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, BCSN Pod Zone. For Keith, Marcus, Kelvin, I'm Bryan. Peace out, Rattler Nation. On to FAU, and let's keep striking because we got to get a dub this weekend.
We will find more about our defense this week. That FAU threw the ball 62 times against Maryland.
They also got picked off 6 times too.
They had 6 interceptions.
Yeah, they threw 6. Yeah, they had a lot of interceptions.
So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, let's go defense. All right, see you down at FAU this weekend, Rattlers. Be safe on the travels. We'll see you guys Wednesday, 8:00 Eastern, right here on the Black Collar Sports Network. Peace out.